What's going on, guys? Thanks for tuning in to my latest video. My name is Nollie, and let's just get right into it. So this episode actually is my first episode covering Overwatch. Until now, all my videos have been about WoW, but I have to talk about an event in Overwatch that I can't get enough of. When Overwatch first came out, the concept of it was quite interesting to me. I was never a huge fan of first-person shooters. I always liked games like Gears of War, but I wasn't huge on Halo or Call of Duty. I felt it was just too it was very competitively driven, and there's a lot of toxicity in it. Just the fun didn't outweigh the negativity that was associated to the games, so I always stayed away from it. But when Overwatch came out, I said, well, this game's unique. There's a lot of unique characters to it, and they all have their different assets, and together they create this synergy that wouldn't happen solo. In Call of Duty, if you're good enough, you can pretty much carry your team, but in Overwatch, a lot of it is dependent on your team composition, who you're fighting, the map. A lot of that needs to be taken into consideration, and I think that's a very cool method of game development. So anyways, enough about why I love Overwatch. This specific event has brought the video game Overwatch to an entire new level. I only ever thought of Overwatch as a PVE event, as a PvP event. I never played this Dr. Junkenstein's event the first time it came around. Unfortunately, I bought Overwatch literally about a week after it ended, so I never got to play it. And what's funny is Junkrat's one of my favorite characters, and I love the skin of Dr. Junkenstein, but I unfortunately was never able to have it, and I waited almost a year for it to come back just so I could try this event. A PvE event in Overwatch sounds like a lot of fun. So I did the Omni Crisis, which was a lot of fun, very similar to this. But this one, there's something about this event that really, really created such great synergy, like between the game, between the players, everything about it, just it came together and it worked so well. I really, really hope, and honestly, the main reason why I'm making this video is in hopes that somebody, somewhere, can relay this back to someone at Overwatch, that like you guys have done such a phenomenal job with this specific event that I really hope to see more events like this in the future. I really enjoy this, and I know Overwatch is supposed to be a very competitive game, but this still adds a little bit of competitiveness because, number one, you can compare how your team did compared to other teams, or just how you guys compete amongst each other. Who has most kills? You know, there's always competitive in any kind of team sport, even if you're on the same team. So it's not that you're losing competitiveness like this, but it's another style of an already great game. So I really, really hope, the purpose of this video is that I really, really hope that in the future, Overwatch will still have many PvE events to come. It would be great. I know people have spoken about potentially them creating a campaign. That would be a lot of fun. I would love an online campaign, sort of PvE directed for Overwatch. I think a really big portion of why Overwatch is so successful, besides the actual gameplay itself, is the character development. There's so many different archetypes in this game, and the archetypes are very relatable. There's Soldier, there's Winston, there's Widow, there's Sombra. They're all so different, and they all come from many different walks of life, but they have their own uniqueness, and they have their own personality traits. And I feel those archetypes and those personality traits relate to us. All of us can see ourselves in one of these characters, even if it's a negative aspect. There's something about it that sort of resembles our personalities. And I love that about it. Like, all the characters are so unique and so well developed that allowing them to be placed in a setting like this, like a PvE setting, it's almost like it's a brand new game. Even though the mechanics are the same, the fact that you're not fighting against other players and you can sort of predict the movement of the bots, but that doesn't make it any easier just because you can predict their movements. Just because you can predict their movements doesn't mean that there's not waves and waves and there's too much pressure on the right side, so you got to make sure that you're alive while keeping your healer up while still not letting them get to the door. There's still this sense of urgency of killing them quickly and trying to knock them down. So it's not saying this is easy mode, it's just saying it's a different play style, and I really, really enjoy it. So I really like to know what you guys think. I mean, so far, since I've only played about 9 games or so of Dr. Junkenstein's Revenge, and you may say that's not very much, regardless of how you may interpret that. I have never done this before. Since playing Dr. Junkenstein's Revenge, I've made 2 friends, which I have never made on Overwatch before. I barely have a chance of making friends on World of Warcraft. People are just antisocial. But something about this specific event is bringing people together. When I was playing with an individual, we did a really good job. I was trying to coordinate the team. This is the game you're watching right now. I was Anna. Before this, we played 2 other games, and Nightstar number 6 is the guy I was in a group with, and I was coordinating to him, you come with me, and we will go get Symmetra's teleporter, or her armor shield. and the soldier will stay back, and he will heal the other team member. Just, they'll keep themselves alive until me, the healer, and you, McCree, are able to get back to the team, back where the door is. So little coordination like that. I guess he listened, and it was successful. We ended up getting Symmetra down. We got our teleporter down. We ended up going back to our team, and no one died. That very rarely happens in pugs. Usually it's just every man for themselves, and then everybody's to blame when you lose. Something about just the teamwork I thought was really cool. So I asked him to join another group, and we did it again, and we won the second time. And then we did it the third time. We won the third time. And then someone else just asked to join our group. So they joined our group too. And before I knew it, we ended up playing like 5 games in a row. And we were coordinating, we were talking. Okay, soldier, you have the self-heal. You go up there by yourself. You can take out the shield while the 3 of us stay down here and watch the door. There's so much more to it. From this perspective, I see that there's a lot of communication that often happens in ranked. But ranked isn't everybody's cup of tea. Ranked is actually very toxic, truth be told. A lot of people think they're better than they are in ranked, and even if they are that good, it's not necessary to be toxic. I know for whatever reason, people's feeble brains thinks that being toxic to someone and telling them their shit will somehow allow them to play better, but it's only distracting when you're insulting people. If someone's doing something wrong, rather than critiquing them on how they're doing it wrong, just tell them what to do. It's like, seriously, because the time that you're taking to critique them on what they're doing wrong, you're now wasting time where they could potentially kill you. So you need to just focus on the gameplay, focus on the goal at hand, and try to just communicate nicely. Because if you communicate negatively, nothing's ever going to come out of it. Like how many times, personally speaking, how many times have you communicated or seen someone communicate to someone else negatively, and then it came out better? How many times they say, you're a shit player? They said, you know what? You're right. And they started playing better. Because from my experience, that's never happened. The only time someone's picked up their game is when someone says something like, hey, Genji, you should really save that ult until I nano boost you. Then you'll do twice as much damage. They said, oh, I didn't realize that. Thanks for letting me know. That's the only time anything ever comes out positive, is when people speak like humans. We're very disconnected because we play online, and because the person we're speaking to isn't a person, but they're Ana, but they're Widowmaker, but they're Reaper. So we forget that there's actually a person sitting behind there, a person with feelings and emotions and people with an ego. So even if you piss them off, if you don't piss them off, if you want to piss them off, if they're getting distracted by your words that are not part of the gameplay, that's distracting them from winning. That's distracting you from winning. So in the end of the day, just try to be a nice person. Try to just focus on the fact that you're speaking to other people. Try to focus on winning. If winning is the main reason why you're playing this game, because you want skins, because you want anything, to focus on the negativity and why people are shit and a million other reasons as to why you don't like playing with people in this game, it's never going to benefit you. Like, a question, how many times has it benefited you? Ask yourself that, and if it's ever benefited you, then keep talking trash. But from my experience, talking trash has never benefited me. But this is a perfect example. Since we've been playing as a team, we've been doing pretty well at nuking these guys, because a tip, I don't know if you guys know this, if you're playing Ana, try to coordinate to someone that you'll nano boost them, especially McCree. If you could nano boost a McCree during high noon, he pretty much one-shots the witch. And I'm speaking from experience. We've nuked the witch so quick, so many times, because I'm nano boosting McCree, and it's just like, it hits like such a truck. So try to align your ults. It makes a big, big, big difference. And one more tip that I could give for this specific event is Soldier, I would recommend, is probably the best for going after Symmetra's shield, just because he is very self-sustained. He can shoot from quite far away. His bombs do a tremendous amount of damage on the teleporter shield, and his self-heal is great. Like besides the guys that throw like catapults, the frost bombs or whatever they are, those are really the only ones that do tremendous amounts of damage. And it's Soldier's heal is enough to keep him alive, to deal with a couple of them, so as long as he's competent, and still take out the shield. The only time I wouldn't recommend going gung-ho on the shield is when Sim first pops. When Symmetra first pops, let her run down to everybody, because she'll just focus you with the microwave. Even if you have a self-heal, eventually it'll wear you down. She hits pretty hard. So remember, just try to bait Sim into the McCree, let the McCree stun him, and then try to hit her with an ult if you can, because that'll get rid of her pretty quick. But let me know what you guys think about this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed this event as much as I did, because I'd really like to see more of these. But I want to thank you guys for the positive response for videos thus far. Let me know if you guys like these Overwatch videos. I really enjoy playing Overwatch. Hopefully you guys enjoy watching Overwatch. I want to thank you guys once again. Till next time, Nollie out.